YouTube! What is going on, y'all? It is your boy Young Texas, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. So this video is going to be unlike any video I've ever actually done here on the channel, because not only is this a video talking about something that actually happened in the CDL, but it's also a video that I am doing completely unscripted. I usually script out all my commentary so I know what to say, so I know what points to hit, but this one, I'm not doing that. This is just going to be like an opinionated video where I just kind of talk off the cusp about what happened. So yesterday was the very first day of the brand new CDL season here in Modern Warfare 2, where we saw 4 different matchups. We saw the LA Thieves defeat the Las Vegas Legion 3-1. The Boston Breach defeat Atlanta Face 3-1. We saw an intense match between LAG and Seattle Surge that LAG took 3-2. But the matchup that I'm talking about here is the matchup between OpTic Texas and the Minnesota Rokkr. Now, if you couldn't tell by my hoodie, yes, I'm an OpTic Texas fan, so yeah, I'm sure some of my points in this video might just be a little bit biased, but I'm going to try to make this as impartial as I can because honestly, I think OpTic Texas fan or not, this is how I'd feel. So OpTic Texas took the first map, Hardpoint, going up 1-0 in the series before Minnesota quickly got the equalizer by winning the Search and Destroy 6-0 to make it a 1-1 series, moving into the control, in which OpTic Texas took the control in round 5, putting them up 2-1 in the series, moving on to the map for Hardpoint. That is what was seemingly going to happen, at least, because that is actually not what happened, because it ended up being a victory for the Minnesota Rokkr in the entire series just after that third map. It was a very intense round 5, and near the end of the map, we saw a clutch play by King Scump himself that basically helped secure the dub for OpTic Texas, but there was an issue, and Minnesota Rokkr brought that up with the referees, and that issue turned into a much bigger issue. Minnesota Rokkr player Cammy decided to call in a streak during that round 5 to try to help his team get the dub. He tried to call in his precision airstrike, but instead called in his SAE, and he got frozen on his SAE screen for like 10 seconds. He couldn't actually move or do anything for that 10 seconds. And for that reason, Rokkr decided that there was a glitch in the game that prevented Cammy from helping his team, meaning that there should be a replay. Now, I'm just going to say this. A few days before the match even started, Cammy posted on Twitter that he was aware there were glitches with streaks and that there were issues with streaks, so that we should just, or that not we, but that streaks should just be completely taken out and GA'd, or gentleman agreement, which basically means that all the players just agree not to use it. He said that they should just do that with all streaks until the issue was fixed. So clearly, he knew there were issues, but decided to use streaks anyway. I can't blame him for using streaks, but the SAE was already on the GA list, so the fact that Cammy even had the SAE equipped is kind of an issue. Yes, he didn't mean to call in the SAE, he meant to call in his precision airstrike, but at the end of the day, he accidentally called in the SAE, a GA streak that he shouldn't even have had equipped anyways, and so because he accidentally called in the wrong streak and it led to a glitch, Rokkr wanted a replay. If Cammy didn't have the SAE equipped in the first place, that replay wouldn't even have been in question because he wouldn't have accidentally called it in. So of course, Rokkr wanted a replay, and I can't say I blame them for wanting the replay, because if my teammate got frozen, I'd be pretty upset too. But again, y'all know my thoughts on the fact that he got frozen in the first place. But the refs brought it up with OpTic and said, hey, here's what happened. They looked at the VOD together and they let OpTic decide what they wanted to do. And instead of going with the replay, OpTic decided, screw it, we're just going to forfeit that round of control and give Rokkr the win on the map. But not only that, to make a point and to make it obvious that they thought it was incredibly stupid and kind of scummy what Rokkr was doing, they said, you know what? We're just going to forfeit the entire match and give Rokkr the entire series win. I mean, listen, it is just the first series of the year, so it's probably not going to come back to haunt them too much. But they just said, fuck it, basically. We're just going to give Rokkr the series win. Of course, this led to an incredibly wild time on Twitter with so many people tweeting about it and talking about it and giving their opinions on it. I mean, you saw fans and players alike talking about it. It was absolutely crazy. We saw players like Scump take to Twitter and say that it was the very first time he had ever forfeited a match in his career, and he's been playing for like 14 years. So that's pretty crazy. You can also see players like Dashy saying that it was kind of scummy what Rokkr did, and he was upset about it. You can see Illy calling them straight up pathetic, them being the Minnesota Rokkr. But what you didn't see was many players, or any players really, from the Rokkr talking about it. They were completely radio silent on Twitter when it came to talking about that issue with OpTic Texas. At the end of the day, yes, it was OpTic's choice to not replay the round and OpTic's choice to completely forfeit the entire match. Could they have replayed it and just won the round and then won the next hard point? Yeah, they could have, and they still would have won the series anyways. But I do get where OpTic's coming from. It's not really about the win at that point. It's the principle of all of it, because a lot of the players on OpTic said that even without Cammy freezing, they still would have won the round anyways. And they kind of showed the refs and showed everybody how that was so. And because the decision was still ruled against them, they decided, you know what, screw it. It's the principle of it all. We're just going to forfeit the match. Who cares? Kind of a wild decision, if I'm being honest. I think I would have replayed the match. I would have replayed the round. But, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I get why OpTic did it. It's just not something that I personally would have done. But, who knows? I'm not a CDL pro. But, like I said, I get why OpTic did it. But now what moving forward? This is going to set a kind of weird precedent. Like, if there's a glitch and there's a replay, that's always been the thing. If there was a glitch, there would be a replay, which is what almost happened here. But the fact that OpTic decided to forfeit is going to set an incredibly weird precedent, but it could also change the way the league deals with glitches in game. We already saw from Daniel Tsai, the GM of the COD League, on Twitter, that earlier this year they were working on a tool that would allow games that were glitched or crashed to restart from the exact point that the crash or glitch happened, with the exact same amount of kills, score, streaks, everything like that. Unfortunately, that wasn't put into play yet. We didn't have that tool yet, or else that's probably what would have happened, and I'm sure OpTic would have been okay with it, because then they could have proved, look, we were going to win it anyways. But that tool isn't a thing just yet. But maybe this situation and seeing how OpTic dealt with it is going to force the league to kind of rush and get that tool ready to go. At the end of the day, I don't think this is a situation that anybody saw coming. Going into the very first match of the year for both OpTic Texas and Minnesota Rokkr, this is definitely an unprecedented situation. This has never happened before in the COD League. And yeah, I mean, like I said, that could change how things work in the COD League moving forward, but only time will tell. But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Again, this was the first time I've ever done a video really talking about something that happened in the CDL, and doing so unscripted and kind of just letting my thoughts come out and talk about what I wanted to talk about and how I wanted to talk about it. But if you enjoy, be sure to drop a like and comment on it down below what you guys think about this situation between OpTic and Minnesota. And of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to turn on those notifications so you never miss any of my daily uploads. For even more from me, be sure to check out the links in the description below to connect with me on all of my social media so you never miss any of my content. Also, for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, intel, and so much more, be sure to use the links in the description below to connect with IPC on all of our social medias as well as our website. Other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and that's been it. Peace.